Heyo, and welcome to the main event. Actually, this isn't the main event. I don't want to get sued. This is actually, by disclaimer, I should say you're watching Serenity Cycle Works, and this is Project Oilhead Part 3. So, welcome to the main Serenity Cycle Works event. I am the ruggedly handsome mechanic and tour guide for this episode, Hog Stachio, and this is Project Oilhead Part 3. So, I understand that Part 4 was published before Part 3, and something one of my professors said back in college, well, probably actually many of my professors said this, and that's, you don't actually need to understand it, you just got to accept that it's true. So, yes, yes, I just ran over the GoPro with the Subaru. Oop, there we go. And also, yes, Part 4 was published before Part 3. That's how it happened. So, first things first, I know this is actually a video about the motorcycle repair, but I had to get my wheelie stool fixed. And in the first episode, I wasn't tweaking out. I knew the top was loose, and I thought it was sliding off, so I was banging it up and down, if you recall from episode 1. Turns out the welds broke on there, so I just did a little... Oh, look at this. Look at this. Pow! Yep. Yeah, he got me. He got me, but good, too. And if you noticed, if you rewind it and watch it, you'll see they're circling around the front of the bike. Well, I guess the back of the bike. They're circling around like a bunch of sharks. As you can see here, my wheelie stool wasn't really going as fast and quick as I wanted it to go, so I had to do a little bit of modification with some lubricant to get them wheels spinning super quick. Yep, and you see Earl sticking his little nose in. I'm starting to think this show is actually more about Earl and less about me or the bike, because he seems to be in it a lot. Kind of like Where's Waldo, but the opposite. It's an easy Where's Waldo. But there he is. Oh yeah. In fact, we might actually have to turn this into a drinking game, and every time you see Earl's mug in the background, you take a shot. Nonetheless, so what I'm doing in this episode is I am removing that ABS system from the bike. I got the bike, I don't know. Take a shot. I got the bike as a basket case, probably somewhere around 2015 or 2017. It might have even been 2016, which so happens falls between 2015 and 2017. But nonetheless, it was a basket case. A lot of crap wrong with it. And one of the things was the brake lines were leaking all over, so I put those braided stainless brake lines, and then I had to have the bike towed to the BMW, because on that big old ABS unit right there I'm yanking out, there's like 8 nipples or something, and you need a computer to bleed it, so they picked it up and they bled it, but when they bled it, they never put fluid in the rear master cylinder, so the ABS never worked, and it is what it is, and I decided, screw it, I'm getting rid of it, I'm going to shed those 8 pounds, and every other bike I've owned in the history of forever, except for maybe the Vespa that you see sometimes in the background, never had ABS, so, you know, bikes for 100 years didn't have it. I don't really think I need it. And nobody's forcing me to do this. This is my own deal, so do it at your own risk. And instead of spending $80 or $90 on the distribution piece, and then another $80 or $90 on the shipping, which one of them is $80 and one of them is $90. I don't remember which one is which. Nonetheless, I decided to make my own, so I cut the brake line out of the ABS unit, the hard line. I made a little template, you see. Well, I didn't show it in the video, but I had already spent like an hour trying to do it without a template before I built the template. This little cardboard template, I'm tracing the pattern, and I'm just bending the brake line around, so it's going to screw into that distribution piece and just bypass, because the distribution piece is kind of like a T-junction where it goes from the master cylinder into this distribution piece, and then the distribution piece goes into the ABS unit, comes back into the distribution piece and down to the front caliper, so I'm just bypassing that ABS stuff. So just getting that out of the way. And I might actually just get one long brake line that goes directly from the master cylinder to the caliper, because I don't think that yellow color is going to go with the paint scheme of the bike I have in mind. We'll see. I don't know. And so what I'm doing is using my little tubing cutter there, cutting the end off, because I had to get the end off, and then there's two different size ends that go in the distribution piece, a big one and a small one, so I had to take one, put it on the other, and then flare it, loop it around, because I don't know, it's weird. Kind of like a V shape on the side that goes to the master cylinder to the caliper, so I had to get this weird loop-de-loop deal in it. Anyway, also, I just want to point this out, Dad, if you are watching and you think, my, that tubing cutter and flaring tool looks familiar, I assure you it's not, because the law of finders keepers, it is not yours. And many of them look similar, so don't think it was yours. Even if you can't find yours, it's mine now. Anyway, so it was a battle. I might actually refer to this ABS system as the GD ABS system, excuse my language, because it's caused me that many problems since I've had the bike, and trying to get this weird loop-de-loop deal around is causing me that many problems too. It is what it is. I think it will be okay. I mean, people build brake lines all the time. You build them on old Jeeps and race cars and whatnot, so I don't see why it would be any less safe on this. And like I said, if it does cause problems, I haven't bled the brakes yet, but if it does cause problems, I will just simply get one line and bypass that whole distribution piece altogether. Also, I wasn't able to put a double flare on this because apparently the little bit that goes to make the double flare wasn't in the box. So it's probably, theoretically, could be in my dad's toolbox. I don't know. I don't know why it would be, because this isn't his flaring tool, but we'll see. I think a single flare will be okay. Like I said, I haven't I can't even say it. I haven't bled the brakes yet, but when I do, I'll find out. So, I don't know. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I don't know. It was a little bit more tedious than I was expecting it was going to be, but it worked out. I don't want to, skip ahead too far and ruin the surprise, but surprise, surprise, I got it. When I cut it and flared it, there were some like little metal shards in there, so I cleaned it out with some carb cleaner and then some WD-40, just trying to flush the little pieces out of the end of the little metal shard. Oh, that might be a shot. It didn't really sit there and look at the camera, Earl didn't, but he was there. But yeah, so I was just flaring this and then excuse me, and then bending it around, putting it on. You can see by the joy on my face how happy I am. But I suppose if it was easy and quick, it really wouldn't be fun. I bought, and if you've seen in some of the other videos, you'll notice that red Stella in the back, and I bought that from a guy who said it didn't run and it didn't drive. Turns out it didn't run because the spark plug wire was off. So I thought I was getting this great old project to make it run, and it wasn't a great old project. It was, I gotta put the spark plug wire on. Well, nonetheless, after I got it running, I took it out for a little bit, the engine blew, so now it is a project. But before it was a project, and I was excited that I'd have a project to work on, and I didn't, but I do. So here I am with the back, also eliminating the ABS lines that go to that ABS module that's no longer there. And I'm just going to go right from the master cylinder to the switch, and then right from the switch to the rear caliper. And the switch, I mean brake pedal, that valve mechanism, what have you. Same thing. This might actually be a lot easier to bleed, quicker to bleed, because it's just one caliper in the rear, whereas the front has dual calipers. So I am going to bleed it. I'm kind of hesitant to bleed it now because I might change the brake lines, and I don't want to do it again, but also I'd rather just kind of, if I'm going to push it around or move it, I'd rather have brakes, or at least until I disassemble it. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I might do it just for the practice. I don't know. I got one of those vacuum brake bleeders and it's kind of fun. I wonder what I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm probably feeling pretty proud of myself. Oh, nope, I'm not. I guess I was just wondering what I was going to do next. Those brake lines didn't come out as easy as I hoped. The first ones came out pretty good. The back one I ended up just cutting. And I was trying to keep as much of these parts intact as I can so I can sell them. And at least the front line I didn't want to cut because I needed it to make that jumper for the distribution piece in the front. But this back one my patience had been wearing thin and I said screw it, it's gone. Trusty old bolt cutters took care of that real quick. But yeah, this was just I would say it's pretty simple. It was actually probably close to 2 hours of screwing around on this, but I got it done, and now I'm without ABS, and I think that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. I might feel different when I ride, but chances are I probably won't since I never actually had ABS that worked on this bike. And they did actually build these bikes without the ABS option, so that also made me feel more comfortable, and I could have bought that other distribution piece like I said. I chose not to, and I do need to square away the wiring. I believe from my research that this rear brake switch and tail light is with the ABS normally a normal closed switch, and I think without the ABS it's normally open. I might have it backwards, so I may have to add a relay or some other big word that I'm not really sure what is into the circuit to make it work the way it should. We'll find out, and that will be a video on its own. So anyway, this is about wraps it up here, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned next time for Project Oilhead Part 5, which, again, this is Part 3. I know it's confusing, just accept it. It is what it is. Take care.